Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide, paranormal adept, and published author. The Yldrbacian Chronicles is a 12-volume saga which I conceptualized in 1978 and is now in print. Now, we will start with The Birth of the Wolfpack. Okay, this is the first book that has come to print. And the reason it worked out that way is because it takes place after the fall of man. This falls under the classification, as near as I can understand it, of science fiction, science fantasy. The whole book in the whole series is 12 volumes long. Birth of the Wolfpack literally is number 10 in the series, but I started with number 10, and because of the way it all came about, number 11 is already in print, and that is this one here, which is the end of an epoch. Okay. These are both attainable directly through me. If you're looking for a signed copy, you'll have to get it straight through me. But they are also both available on authorhouse.com. It is available on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble, as well as Chapters and Indigo. Now, there's a few other places I'm sure you can find it. I don't know where all of them are. Literally, I'm just learning how to get things out. But as it was put to me, the best books, the best information on the world is useless if you don't know where to find it. Now, The Birth of the Wolfpack revolves around a group of 7 people. Okay, now understand, the way it came about, I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons and various other role-playing games, tabletop style, since 1973. No, since 1976, June, to be more specific. There's a lot of really good science fiction writers out there, a staggering number of them. And I do not personally consider myself one of the top ranking. That's for somebody else to decide. But I had so much fun with the group that I was gaming with back in the early 80s that I decided that between the fun we had at the gaming table and the way that I was treated by the gamers outside of the gaming sessions, really encouraged me to write the first story, to write The Birth of the Wolfpack. Okay, now it does take place post-apocalyptic, but there is a fair chunk, there's a lot of fantasy tied to it. All 12 books are combined. They are interconnected with I'm trying to remember what the name is. It's a good thing I write instead of try and speak. But they are interconnected with flashbacks and foreshadowings. Now, to be clear, I do not edit my videos. Okay, so when you take a look at them, understand that if you ever meet me in person, I'm the same way. I don't edit what I say. I also don't filter much. But with the Chronicles, it starts off because the way I look at it is this. A lot of really good science fiction writers out there. I'm one of the few that I know of that is not only still an active gamer, but these books are written with gamers in mind. Okay, there are things that take place in this saga that to gamers, as in, well, let's face it, if you're a gamer, you already know what that means. If you're not, a gamer is somebody that plays, I focus on the ones that play tabletop. Okay, in other words, paper, pens, physical dice. I don't actually have my dice in front of me. Okay, but I will in the next video probably bring them out. But it is written by a gamer, that would be me, with gamers in mind. Okay, now every one of the primary characters was designed by somebody else. These are patterned after characters that were designed by the gamers I was gaming with. Okay, there's no accident to it. When I started to write it, where I started to do all the stuff, I started off going, any similarity between these characters and people is completely coincidental. The reality is, it's not. It's quite deliberate. I have taken my interpretation of characters that other people built, combined with their own personal personalities, and written them into the story. Many of the different events that take place are based on things I've personally gone through, things I've personally remembered from either from current life or past life. Well, in all fairness, from both. Okay, these are all connected. Now, with the birth of the Wolfpack, it starts off, as you can well imagine if you're a gamer, starts off in a bar. Okay, that's just where it starts. And because of the fact I have a short attention span, I think, on occasion, although sometimes not bad. Okay, the first chapter, there is a little bit of a conflict you'll run into. And this, understanding, post-apocalyptic, the world has gone to heck in a handbasket. This takes place after that. Okay, but the people and the interactions are because it's a very brutal world, still trying to rebuild itself. Now, the primary characters are working with their own limits in mind and with their own personalities. They are working together to rebuild a better world, to bring a sense of continuity and civilization back to the world at large. Now, they're starting off, they start off in one location, and where it's going to go, I don't rightly know as far as overall, but it is centered around one particular city. And for those of you that are intrigued by it, every one of the cities that I work with names that are, where it comes to cities, where it comes to streets, okay, I believe the term is anagram. Makes it easier to lay out things. Okay, it's the simplest way of putting it. But I put these stories together so they are interlocked. Okay, now understand there's a lot that goes on in the past from the past. You will run into, even early on, you'll run into people that from mankind's standpoint are mythological. Hence why we have the term science fiction and science fiction and fantasy. Okay, the overall saga combines creationism, evolution, technology, magic, ancient races that evolved on this planet, many of which you will consider are mythological, off-worlders, as in aliens, alien technology, modern technology, past technology. These are all melded together under one roof. I've even combined the concept of a single god and multiple gods, all under one roof, all on one planet. Okay, but where it comes to the birth of the Wolfpack, it starts off in a nice, quaint little bar, modern bar, very, as you'll find out, very rough and tumble little place. Okay, I hope you will join me on this journey. I'm going to keep these particular videos. I'm not going to drag them out for an hour or so. I'm going to do them a little bit more frequently because that's the only way I can get this working right. But it starts off with one of the people. Okay, in the first chapter, there's a little bit of a conflict. In the second chapter, we get into the action. Okay, and this is with one individual that has not been to the bar. He's been out of the area for a while and has just returned. This would be Jeremiah Woolstrand. Now, as I've mentioned, every character in the main group is based on a character, on somebody that built it. A combination of the character that was built and the individual themselves. Now, Jeremiah comes into this bar after a very long period of time. It starts off with him getting back there. It does not take long for him to start connecting with other members of what will become known as the Wolfpack. This whole story, this whole book, okay, revolves on this group getting together and reacquainting themselves with each other. Some of them meeting for essentially the first time, at least the first time in a very long time. Some of them having known each other for a long time, but through the flashbacks, throughout the saga, you'll get to know more about the connections between the people. Okay, working together they strive to rebuild. They strive to do things in a very violent world. And yes, they've got some violent tendencies, but they focus on the idea of trying to help people. Okay, there's some twists, some turns that you'll find. Hopefully, this will encourage you to look into purchasing it. Okay. Oh, by the way, on Amazon, it is also available in the Kindle version. Okay, both of these books are. And the other real kicker to it, or the bonus to it, is just about 2 weeks ago now, I was contacted by an Italian publisher to translate actually the second book, The End of an Epoch, into Italian and a number of other languages. I forget exactly which ones. But I will be back again in a day or two, or whenever next I get back. I don't know, because I'm spending a lot of time writing. Okay, you can well imagine, because I do desire to have the third volume out by the end of this year. That's the target anyway. Whether I'll manage it or not remains to be seen. But I will catch up with you next time. Okay, until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.